Welcome to English ListenBerry. I'm Emma. Before we begin, I want you to answer one simple question. You have 3 seconds. What did you do this morning? 1, 2, 3. Did an English answer appear immediately? Or did your mind first create the answer in your native language, translate it word by word, check the grammar, and then finally allow you to speak? If that second process sounds familiar, this lesson is for you. Today, we are going to train your brain to think and respond directly in English. Not perfectly, not dramatically, directly. By the end of this session, you will have practiced a new mental pathway, from meaning to English to speech. No unnecessary translation in the middle. And I want you to do more than listen. Speak with me. Answer the questions. Repeat the natural phrases. Give yourself permission to respond before you feel completely ready. Fluency is not the ability to build a perfect sentence slowly. Fluency is the ability to communicate a clear idea while the conversation is still moving. Let's test your current speaking process one more time. Imagine that a coworker asks, "Are you free this afternoon?" Respond naturally in English. 1, 2, 3. Perhaps you said, "Yes, I am." Perhaps you said, "I should be free after 3." Or maybe you knew exactly what you wanted to say, but you could not find the English quickly enough. Here is the first important idea. The problem is probably not your knowledge. You may already know thousands of words. You may understand grammar explanations. You may recognize advanced expressions when you read them. But recognition is not the same as retrieval. Knowing English is not the same as being able to reach it instantly. Think about a kitchen. You can own every ingredient you need, but if everything is hidden in unmarked boxes, you cannot cook quickly. Your vocabulary works in a similar way. The words may be somewhere in your memory, but during a real conversation, you need fast access. Translation slows that access because your brain takes a longer route. The long route looks like this: experience, native language sentence, translation, grammar check, English sentence, speech. The shorter route looks like this: experience, meaning, English phrase, speech. Today, we're going to practice the shorter route. Now, I want to make something very clear. Translation is not always bad. It helped you understand English when you were beginning. It can help you compare subtle meanings. Professional translators use it as a sophisticated skill. But in spontaneous conversation, constant word-for-word translation becomes a bottleneck. It forces your brain to perform several jobs at the same time, and that creates hesitation. So we are not trying to delete your first language. That would be impossible and unnecessary. We are building an additional pathway. Your first language can stay exactly where it is. We simply want English to become available without asking another language for permission. Let's begin with meaning, not words. Look around you. Choose one object. Do not name it in your first language. Just notice it. Notice its color, its position, and what it is used for. Now describe it in simple English. You might say, "It's a black coffee mug. It's next to my computer. I use it every morning." Notice what happened. You did not need an advanced sentence. You connected what you saw directly to English. That is thinking in English. Choose another object. This time, describe it with 3 details. 1, its appearance. 2, its location. 3, its purpose. Speak now. Good. If your sentence was simple, that is not a failure. Simple English produced quickly is more useful than sophisticated English that never leaves your mouth. Many advanced learners make a surprising mistake. They believe thinking in English must sound intelligent. They imagine long, elegant sentences with perfect vocabulary. But your thoughts in any language are often incomplete. You think, too late, need coffee, where are my keys? That was strange. I'll do it later. Real thought is fast, fragmented, and practical. That means your first English thoughts should also be short and practical. Repeat after me. I'm getting tired. I need a minute. That doesn't make sense. I'll deal with it later. I'm not sure yet. That should be enough. I almost forgot. It's worth a try. These are not just sentences to memorize. They are thought units. Each one represents a complete idea that can appear as a single piece. Now I will give you a situation. Choose the thought that fits. Do not translate the entire situation. React to its meaning. You have been working for 3 hours and your eyes feel heavy. What do you think? 1, 2, 3. I'm getting tired. You receive a confusing message from a friend. What do you think? 1, 2, 3. That doesn't make sense. You remember an email you were supposed to send yesterday. What do you think? 1, 2, 3. I almost forgot. Someone suggests a new method that might work. What do you think? 1, 2, 3. It's worth a try. This is how automatic English begins. A situation activates a phrase. You are not assembling every sentence from individual words. You are retrieving a complete response. Native speakers do this constantly. They do not invent language from zero every time they open their mouths. They use familiar patterns, chunks, and frames. Advanced fluency depends less on knowing rare words and more on accessing useful combinations quickly. Consider the phrase, I'm leaning toward. It means you currently prefer one option, although you have not made a final decision. Repeat after me. I'm leaning toward the first option. I'm leaning toward staying home. I'm leaning toward saying yes. Now complete the phrase with your own idea. I'm leaning toward. Speak now. Excellent. You did not need to create a new grammatical structure. You used a ready-made frame and added your meaning. Try another frame. What I mean is, we use it when we want to clarify an idea. Repeat after me. What I mean is, we need more time. What I mean is, the plan is too expensive. What I mean is, I'm not ready to decide. Now imagine that someone misunderstands you. Clarify your idea. What I mean is, speak now. Here is a third frame. The way I see it, this helps you express an opinion without sounding too aggressive. The way I see it, we have two choices. The way I see it, consistency matters more than speed. The way I see it, the risk is worth taking. Your turn. The way I see it, good. These frames reduce mental pressure. Instead of searching for the beginning, the middle, and the end of a sentence at the same time, you begin with a familiar structure. Once you start speaking, the rest of the idea often follows. Now let's work on questions. Questions are powerful because they train you to retrieve information, not simply repeat statements. I will ask you 10 questions. Give yourself no more than 3 seconds to begin each answer. Your answer can continue after 3 seconds, but you must start quickly. If you cannot find the perfect word, use a simpler one. If you make a mistake, keep going. Question 1. What is something you usually do before breakfast? 1, 2, 3. Question 2. What is one small decision you need to make this week? 1, 2, 3. Question 3. What kind of weather helps you feel productive? 1, 2, 3. Question 4. What is something you have changed your mind about recently? 1, 2, 3. Question 5. When was the last time you had to wait longer than expected? 1, 2, 3. Question 6. What is one habit you are trying to improve? 1, 2, 3. Question 7. What makes a conversation enjoyable for you? 1, 2, 3. Question 8. What would you do if you suddenly had a free afternoon? 1, 2, 3. Question 9. What is something people often misunderstand about you? 1, 2, 3. Question 10. What is one goal you want to make progress on this month? 1, 2, 3. How did that feel? You may have noticed that some questions produced immediate answers, while others created silence. That silence is useful information. It shows you where your English retrieval needs practice. Do not judge yourself. Diagnose yourself. If a question felt difficult, ask why. Did you lack vocabulary? Did you have too many possible answers? Were you trying to sound impressive? Did you begin translating a complex idea? Each cause requires a different solution. When vocabulary is missing, describe the idea with words you already know. When you have too many possible answers, choose one quickly. When you want to sound impressive, lower the standard. When translation begins, return to a short English frame. Here are 5 rescue phrases that keep a conversation moving while your brain catches up. Let me think for a second. That's an interesting question. The first thing that comes to mind is, I haven't thought about that before, but if I had to choose, I'd say, repeat them with me. Let me think for a second. That's an interesting question. The first thing that comes to mind is, I haven't thought about that before, but if I had to choose, I'd say, these phrases are not meaningless fillers. They give you processing time while keeping your turn in the conversation. Silence can make you panic. A natural opening phrase keeps the connection alive. Let's use them. What quality do you value most in a friend? Begin with, the first thing that comes to mind is, speak now. What is one thing you would improve about your city? Begin with, if I had to choose, I'd say, speak now. How has technology changed the way you communicate? Begin with, I haven't thought about that before, but speak now. Very good. Now we are going to train your inner voice. Your inner voice is the quiet language you use to organize your day, solve problems, and react to events. You do not need to force it to use English all day. Start with small English windows. For the next minute, imagine the beginning of your day. Think through the sequence in English. I wake up, I check the time, I get out of bed, I open the curtains, I drink some water, I decide what to wear, I look for my phone, I realize I'm running late. Now personalize it. Describe your real morning. Use short sentences. Keep moving. Do not stop to correct yourself. Begin. Good. Now imagine you are planning the next 2 hours. First, I need to. After that, I'll. If I have time, I might. The main thing is to. Before I finish, I should. Complete each thought with your own plans. First, I need to. After that, I'll. If I have time, I might. The main thing is to. Before I finish, I should. This habit is called self-narration. You describe what you are doing, what you notice, or what you plan to do. It creates direct connections between everyday experience and English. But there is one rule. Do not narrate everything. If you try to translate every thought all day, you will become exhausted. Choose a small routine. 5 minutes while making coffee. 5 minutes while getting dressed. 5 minutes while walking. Consistency matters more than duration. Let's practice self-narration in a more advanced way. Imagine that you are preparing for an important meeting. You open your notes and realize that one section is incomplete. Say what is happening and what you are going to do. You could say, "I've just realized that the final section isn't ready. I need to fill in the missing details before the meeting starts. If I run out of time, I'll focus on the key figures and explain the rest verbally." Listen again. "I've just realized that the final section isn't ready. I need to fill in the missing details before the meeting starts. If I run out of time, I'll focus on the key figures and explain the rest verbally." Now shadow me, one thought group at a time. "I've just realized that the final section isn't ready. I need to fill in the missing details before the meeting starts. If I run out of time, I'll focus on the key figures and explain the rest verbally." Now say the complete response with me. "I've just realized that the final section isn't ready. I need to fill in the missing details before the meeting starts. If I run out of time, I'll focus on the key figures and explain the rest verbally." This is high thinking practice. You are connecting facts, priorities, conditions, and decisions. But notice that the language is still organized into manageable chunks. Advanced does not have to mean complicated. Advanced means precise, flexible, and appropriate. Let's compare translated English with natural English. A learner may say, "I very agree with this idea." The meaning is understandable, but the phrase follows a structure that may come from another language. Natural alternatives are, "I completely agree," "I couldn't agree more," or "I'm fully on board with that idea." Repeat after me. I completely agree. I couldn't agree more. I'm fully on board with that idea. A learner may say, "I have a pressure." Natural English would be, "I'm under pressure," or "I'm feeling a lot of pressure." Repeat after me. I'm under pressure. I'm feeling a lot of pressure. A learner may say, "I lost the chance." Depending on the situation, a natural speaker might say, "I missed the opportunity," or "I let the opportunity slip away." Repeat after me. I missed the opportunity. I let the opportunity slip away. A learner may say, "I will consider about it." Natural English is simply, "I'll think about it," or "I'll take it into consideration." Repeat after me. I'll think about it. I'll take it into consideration. The solution is not to memorize endless lists of mistakes. The solution is to collect natural phrases in context. Do not store only the word pressure. Store under pressure, put pressure on someone, handle pressure, and take the pressure off. Let's practice those combinations. I work well under pressure. Don't put too much pressure on yourself. She knows how to handle pressure. Finishing early took the pressure off the whole team. Now complete one of these phrases with a true idea about your life. I feel under pressure when... Speak now. Good. When you learn words in combinations, you reduce the need to translate. The surrounding words are already attached. Now let's train responses in everyday situations. I will describe the situation first. You respond with a short, natural phrase. Do not explain unless I ask you to. Situation 1. A friend invites you out, but you already have plans. 1, 2, 3. You could say, I'd love to, but I already have plans. Repeat it. I'd love to, but I already have plans. Situation 2. Your coworker asks whether you can finish a task by noon. You are not completely certain. 1, 2, 3. You could say, I should be able to, but I'll let you know if anything changes. Repeat it. I should be able to, but I'll let you know if anything changes. Situation 3. Someone explains an idea, but one part is unclear. 1, 2, 3. You could say, I follow your main point, but could you clarify the last part? Repeat it. I follow your main point, but could you clarify the last part? Situation 4. A store employee offers you a different size, but you want to keep looking. 1, 2, 3. You could say, thanks, but I'd like to look around a little more. Repeat it. Thanks, but I'd like to look around a little more. Situation 5. A neighbor apologizes for making noise. 1, 2, 3. You could say, no worries, I appreciate you letting me know. Repeat it. No worries, I appreciate you letting me know. Situation 6. Your manager asks for your opinion on a new plan. You see both advantages and risks. 1, 2, 3. You could say, I can see the potential, although I think we need to consider the risks more carefully. Repeat it. I can see the potential, although I think we need to consider the risks more carefully. Situation 7. Someone asks why you changed your decision. 1, 2, 3. You could say, the circumstances changed, so I had to reconsider my options. Repeat it. The circumstances changed, so I had to reconsider my options. Situation 8. You disagree with someone, but you want to remain respectful. 1, 2, 3. You could say, I understand where you're coming from, but I see it differently. Repeat it. I understand where you're coming from, but I see it differently. These responses are useful because they perform social actions. They decline, reassure, clarify, delay, qualify, and disagree. When you think only in individual words, you miss the action. When you think in communicative purpose, the correct phrase becomes easier to retrieve. Ask yourself, what am I doing with this sentence? Am I agreeing? Am I buying time? Am I correcting a misunderstanding? Am I softening a refusal? Am I showing uncertainty? Meaning comes before wording. Let's practice that principle. I will name the purpose. You produce any natural phrase that performs it. Purpose. Politely disagree. 1, 2, 3. Possible answer. I'm not sure I see it that way. Purpose. Ask for more time. 1, 2, 3. Possible answer. Could I get back to you this afternoon? Purpose. Show partial agreement. 1, 2, 3. Possible answer. I agree up to a point. Purpose. Correct yourself. 1, 2, 3. Possible answer. Let me rephrase that. Purpose. Introduce a concern. 1, 2, 3. Possible answer. My only concern is that we may be moving too quickly. Purpose. Make a tentative suggestion. 1, 2, 3. Possible answer. We might want to consider a different approach. Purpose. Avoid making a final decision. 1, 2, 3. Possible answer. I'd rather keep my options open for now. Excellent. You are training function-to-language connections. This is much faster than translating a complete sentence. Now let's talk about a fear that keeps many learners trapped in translation: the fear of sounding less intelligent in English. In your first language, you may be witty, persuasive, and precise. In English, a simple sentence can make you feel like a different person. So you try to recover your full personality by translating complex thoughts exactly. The result is often hesitation, tension, and unnatural wording. The solution is not to become silent until your English catches up. The solution is to express the clearest available version of your idea. Suppose you want to say, "The proposal appears attractive at first, but its long-term consequences have not been examined carefully enough." If that sentence does not arrive quickly, say, "The proposal looks good at first, but we haven't considered the long-term effects." The second sentence is not intellectually weaker. It is simply more accessible. Practice reducing complex thoughts to their core meaning. Here is a complex thought. My reluctance to accept the offer stems primarily from uncertainty regarding the company's future direction. Core meaning. I'm hesitant to accept because I'm not sure where the company is heading. Repeat the natural version. I'm hesitant to accept because I'm not sure where the company is heading. Complex thought. Although the experience was initially discouraging, it ultimately forced me to reconsider my priorities. Core meaning. The experience was discouraging at first, but it made me rethink my priorities. Repeat it. The experience was discouraging at first, but it made me rethink my priorities. Complex thought. His explanation failed to address the underlying issue. Core meaning. His explanation didn't deal with the real problem. Repeat it. His explanation didn't deal with the real problem. Now I will give you an advanced idea. Express it in clear English using your own words. The idea is this: a decision looked efficient in the short term, but it created more work later. 1, 2, 3. You might say, "It saved time at first, but it created more work in the long run." Next idea. You respect someone's intentions, but you disagree with their method. 1, 2, 3. You might say, "I respect what they're trying to do, but I don't agree with their approach." Next idea. You expected a conversation to be uncomfortable, but it went better than expected. 1, 2, 3. You might say, "I thought the conversation would be awkward, but it went surprisingly well." That is flexible English. You are not matching words across languages. You are reconstructing meaning with the English resources available to you. Now let's work with a short story. Stories train you to keep English active across several connected ideas. Listen first. Yesterday, I had an important appointment across town. I left home early because traffic is usually unpredictable in the afternoon. About halfway there, I realized I had forgotten a document I needed. For a moment, I considered turning back, but I knew I would be late. Instead, I called the office, explained the situation, and asked whether I could send a digital copy. Fortunately, they agreed. What could have become a stressful problem turned into a simple solution because I responded quickly. Now, I will tell the story again in short thought groups. Shadow me. Yesterday, I had an important appointment. Across town. I left home early because traffic is usually unpredictable. In the afternoon. About halfway there, I realized I had forgotten the document I needed. For a moment, I considered turning back, but I knew I would be late. Instead, I called the office, explained the situation, and asked whether I could send a digital copy. Fortunately, they agreed. What could have become a stressful problem turned into a simple solution because I responded quickly. Now answer these questions without translating. Why did I leave home early? 1, 2, 3. Because traffic is usually unpredictable in the afternoon. What did I realize halfway there? 1, 2, 3. I realized I had forgotten an important document. Why didn't I turn back? 1, 2, 3. Because I knew I would be late. What solution did I find? 1, 2, 3. I asked whether I could send a digital copy. Now retell the story in your own words. Do not try to remember every sentence. Keep only the main events: appointment, traffic, forgotten document, phone call, digital copy, solution. Begin now. Excellent. Retelling is one of the best ways to develop direct English thinking. You receive meaning, organize it, and express it again. There is no source sentence in your first language to translate. Let's make the story more personal. Think of a time when something went wrong, but you found a simple solution. Use this frame. I was trying to, then I realized. At first I thought. Instead, I decided to. In the end, tell your story now. Good. If you paused, that is fine. The goal is not 0 pauses. The goal is to pause because you are choosing an idea, not because you are translating every word. There are 2 types of hesitation. Productive hesitation happens when you are deciding what you actually think. Language hesitation happens when you know the idea but cannot access the words. We want to reduce the second type. One way to do that is to build topic networks. Instead of memorizing isolated vocabulary, organize language around situations. Take the topic of changing plans. Useful phrases include, something came up. I need to reschedule. Would another time work for you? I'm afraid I can't make it. Could we push it back to Friday? Thanks for being flexible. Now imagine that you need to move a meeting from Tuesday to Friday. Give a complete message using at least 3 phrases. Speak now. You could say, I'm afraid I can't make it on Tuesday because something came up. Could we push it back to Friday? Thanks for being flexible. Repeat it naturally. I'm afraid I can't make it on Tuesday because something came up. Could we push it back to Friday? Thanks for being flexible. Now take the topic of giving an opinion. From my perspective, as far as I can tell, I tend to think that there's a strong case for. I'm not entirely convinced that. What concerns me most is. Imagine that your team wants to launch a project immediately, but you believe more testing is needed. Give your opinion. Speak now. Possible answer? From my perspective, there's a strong case for doing more testing first. I'm not entirely convinced that the product is ready, and what concerns me most is the risk of creating a poor first impression. Shadow that response with me. From my perspective, there's a strong case for doing more testing first. I'm not entirely convinced that the product is ready, and what concerns me most is the risk of creating a poor first impression. Now create your own opinion about a decision in your life. Use one of the frames. From my perspective, as far as I can tell, I tend to think that. Speak now. Excellent. Now let's focus on listening and response. Translation often begins when learners try to understand every word. They hear a sentence, mentally convert each part, and lose the next sentence. To think in English, listen for the speaker's intention and key information. Listen to this statement. I was going to finish the report tonight, but I've been asked to deal with something more urgent, so I may not get to it until tomorrow morning. What is the main message? 1, 2, 3. The report may not be finished until tomorrow morning. You did not need every word. You needed the plan, the interruption, and the new time. Listen to another statement. I'm not against the proposal in principle. I just don't think we have enough information to make a responsible decision yet. What is the speaker's position? 1, 2, 3. The speaker is open to the proposal but wants more information before deciding. Listen again. I'm not against the proposal in principle. I just don't think we have enough information to make a responsible decision yet. Respond naturally. 1, 2, 3. You might say, "That's fair. Let's gather the missing information first." Listen to this one. I appreciate you offering to help, but I've already made most of the arrangements, so I should be able to handle the rest. What is the speaker doing? 1, 2, 3. Politely declining help. Respond. 1, 2, 3. No problem. Let me know if anything changes. This is conversational thinking. You understand an intention and produce an appropriate response. You are not translating matching sentences. Now we will practice quick follow-up questions. A fluent conversation is not only about giving answers, it is also about showing interest and moving the discussion forward. I will make a statement. Ask one natural follow-up question. I've decided to change careers. 1, 2, 3. You could ask, what made you decide to do that? I'm traveling abroad next month. 1, 2, 3. Where are you going? Or, is it your first time there? The meeting didn't go as planned. 1, 2, 3. What went wrong? I've been working on a new project in my spare time. 1, 2, 3. What kind of project is it? I almost turned down the opportunity. 1, 2, 3. What changed your mind? I've been feeling more confident lately. 1, 2, 3. What do you think has made the difference? Follow-up questions become automatic when you listen for information gaps. A person mentions a change. You ask why. They mention a place. You ask where or what it was like. They mention a problem. You ask what happened or how they solved it. Again, meaning creates the language. Let's train your ability to paraphrase. Paraphrasing frees you from the belief that every idea has only one correct English sentence. Original sentence. I don't think we should rush into a decision. Alternative. We should take some time before we decide. Another alternative. I'd rather not make a decision too quickly. Repeat all three. I don't think we should rush into a decision. We should take some time before we decide. I'd rather not make a decision too quickly. Original sentence. The results were not as impressive as we had hoped. Alternative. The results fell short of our expectations. Another alternative. We were hoping for better results. Repeat. The results were not as impressive as we had hoped. The results fell short of our expectations. We were hoping for better results. Original sentence. I'm still trying to understand why the problem occurred. Alternative. I'm still trying to figure out what caused the problem. Another alternative. It's still unclear to me how the problem started. Repeat. I'm still trying to understand why the problem occurred. I'm still trying to figure out what caused the problem. It's still unclear to me how the problem started. Now, paraphrase this sentence in your own way. I need more time to think about the offer. 1, 2, 3. You might say, I'm not ready to decide yet, or I'd like some time to consider it. Paraphrase this. I didn't expect the task to be so difficult. 1, 2, 3. You might say, the task was harder than I expected. Paraphrase this. The conversation helped me see the situation differently. 1, 2, 3. You might say, the conversation gave me a new perspective on the situation. When you can paraphrase, you stop searching desperately for one translated sentence. If one route is blocked, you take another. Now I want you to notice the difference between accuracy and control. Accuracy means your language follows standard grammar and vocabulary. Control means you can use that language under pressure at a natural speed for a real purpose. Many learners spend years increasing accuracy, but very little time increasing control. They complete exercises with unlimited thinking time. Then a real person asks a simple question and their mind freezes. The cure is timed retrieval. We are going to do a 1-minute response workout. I will give you a prompt, begin within 3 seconds, then continue speaking for as long as you can. If you get stuck, use one of these connectors. The main reason is, for example, at the same time, what I've noticed is, in the long run. Prompt 1. Do people rely too much on technology? Begin now. Keep going. Give an example. Consider the other side. Finish with your overall opinion. Good. Prompt 2. Is it better to make decisions quickly or carefully? Begin now. Explain your preference. Describe a situation where the opposite approach is useful. Finish your thought. Prompt 3. What makes someone a good communicator? Begin now. Name one quality. Explain why it matters. Give an example. Add one more quality. Finish your response. Notice how the prompts guided your thinking. Speaking becomes easier when you know how ideas can develop. You do not need to translate a finished paragraph. You build the paragraph one step at a time in English. A useful C-mote density high response pattern is position, reason, example, qualification, conclusion. Position. State what you think. Reason. Explain why. Example. Make the idea concrete. Qualification. Acknowledge complexity or an exception. Conclusion. Return to your main point. Listen to a complete example. I think working from home can improve productivity because people have more control over their environment and schedule. For example, someone who normally spends 2 hours commuting can use part of that time to plan the day or rest. That said, remote work is not ideal for every personality or every task, and some teams collaborate more effectively in person. Overall, I believe a flexible system works better than a single rule for everyone. Now shadow the response in thought groups. I think working from home can improve productivity because people have more control over their environment and schedule. For example, someone who normally spends 2 hours commuting can use part of that time to plan the day or rest. That said, remote work is not ideal for every personality or every task, and some teams collaborate more effectively in person. Overall, I believe a flexible system works better than a single rule for everyone. Now answer this question with the same structure. Is failure necessary for personal growth? State your position, give a reason, give an example, acknowledge an exception, conclude. Speak now. Excellent. Structured thinking is one of the fastest ways to reduce translation at an advanced level. Your brain is not searching through a cloud of ideas. It is moving through a clear sequence. Let's move into faster response training. This time, I will ask 20 short questions. Answer immediately with one sentence. Do not give a speech. Speed matters more than detail. Ready? What time do you usually start your day? 1, 2, 3. What is something you are looking forward to? 1, 2, 3. What do you do when you need to concentrate? 1, 2, 3. What is one thing you tend to postpone? 1, 2, 3. Who do you talk to when you need advice? 1, 2, 3. What kind of situation makes you nervous? 1, 2, 3. What is something you have become better at? 1, 2, 3. What helps you recover after a difficult day? 1, 2, 3. What is one opinion you have changed? 1, 2, 3. What is a responsibility you take seriously? 1, 2, 3. What would you like to understand better? 1, 2, 3. What is one thing you should do more often? 1, 2, 3. What do you value more now than you did 5 years ago? 1, 2, 3. What is something you rarely worry about? 1, 2, 3. When do you feel most creative? 1, 2, 3. What makes you lose track of time? 1, 2, 3. What is a problem you recently solved? 1, 2, 3. What kind of feedback is most useful to you? 1, 2, 3. What is something you are still figuring out? 1, 2, 3. What decision are you glad you made? 1, 2, 3. Well done. If you answered all 20 questions, your brain just practiced 20 direct routes from meaning to English. Now we will increase the challenge. I will give you a sentence beginning. Complete it immediately, and then add one reason. One thing I've realized recently is, speak now. I tend to feel more confident when, speak now. If I could change one thing about my routine, speak now. Something that deserves more attention is, speak now. The older I get, the more I appreciate, speak now. One assumption people often make is, speak now. What prevents many people from improving is, speak now. Even though it can be difficult, I try to. Speak now. One experience that changed my perspective was, speak now. If I had known then what I know now, speak now. These sentence beginnings activate complex grammar automatically. The older I get, the more gives you a comparative pattern. If I had known activates a past unreal conditional. Even though prepares a contrast. Learn the whole doorway, and your idea can walk through it. Repeat these doorways once more. One thing I've realized recently is I tend to feel more confident when, if I could change one thing, something that deserves more attention is, the older I get, the more I appreciate. Even though it can be difficult, I try to, if I had known then what I know now. Now choose one and speak for 30 seconds. Begin. Very good. Let's talk about pronunciation, because thinking and speaking are connected. Sometimes you know the English phrase, but your mouth does not produce it smoothly. Then, your brain interprets that physical difficulty as a language problem and returns to translation. The solution is not to practice every word separately. Practice thought groups and reductions. Listen to this sentence. I would have told you if I had known. In natural American English, would have often sounds like would've, and if I had becomes closely connected. Listen. I would have told you if I had known. Shadow me. I would have told you if I had known. Complete sentence. I would have told you if I had known. Another one. I'm going to have to think about it. In natural speech, the words connect. I'm going to have to think about it. Shadow me. I'm going to have to think about it. Complete sentence. I'm going to have to think about it. Use gonna in casual speech, not formal writing. Understanding reduced speech helps you remain in English because your brain recognizes the phrase as a single sound pattern. Another sentence. You could have let me know. Natural speech. You could have let me know. Repeat. You could have let me know. Another. What are you trying to say? Natural speech may sound like, what are you trying to say? You do not need to imitate every casual reduction, but you need to recognize it. Say the clear version first. What are you trying to say? Now a connected version. What are you trying to say? When sound patterns become familiar, listening no longer triggers translation panic. You hear a complete phrase and understand its function immediately. Now listen and respond. I will use connected speech. I'm going to have to get back to you on that. What does it mean? 1, 2, 3. The speaker needs more time before answering. Respond naturally. Sure, just let me know when you've decided. Listen, you could have told me earlier. What emotion might the speaker be expressing? 1, 2, 3. Possibly frustration or disappointment. Respond. You're right. I should have let you know. Listen. I would have helped if I'd known. What does it imply? 1, 2, 3. The person did not know, so they did not help. Respond. I understand. I should have told you what was happening. Excellent. Now I want to give you a practical 7-day plan. This lesson will help you today, but automatic English develops through repeated retrieval. On day 1, label and describe your environment for 5 minutes. Do not make vocabulary lists. Use complete thought units. The room feels quiet. The light is too bright. I left my notebook on the table. On day 2, narrate one familiar routine. Make coffee, prepare breakfast, organize your desk, or walk to work. Use present tense action phrases. On day 3, answer 20 personal questions with a 3-second limit. Record yourself if possible. Do not stop the recording when you make a mistake. On day 4, collect 10 useful chunks from one English video. Choose phrases you can imagine using. Say each phrase in a new sentence about your own life. On day 5, retell a short story. Listen once, note 5 key ideas, then explain the story without looking at the original language. On day 6, practice 1-minute opinions using position, reason, example, qualification, and conclusion. On day 7, repeat the same 20 questions from day 3. Compare how quickly you begin answering, not how perfect every sentence sounds. The goal of this plan is not to surround yourself with English every second. The goal is to produce English from meaning every day. Let's review the 5 habits that keep translation alive. Habit 1. Trying to understand every word. Replace it with listening for intention and key information. Habit 2. Building sentences one word at a time. Replace it with chunks and sentence frames. Habit 3. Waiting for perfect grammar before speaking. Replace it with speaking first and repairing when necessary. Habit 4. Expressing the most sophisticated version of every thought. Replace it with the clearest available version. Habit 5. Practicing recognition but not retrieval. Replace it with timed questions, retelling, and response drills. Now repeat these 5 commitments after me. I will listen for meaning, not every word. I will learn phrases, not isolated vocabulary. I will begin before I feel completely ready. I will choose clarity over unnecessary complexity. I will practice retrieving English under time pressure. Again, with more confidence. I will listen for meaning, not every word. I will learn phrases, not isolated vocabulary. I will begin before I feel completely ready. I will choose clarity over unnecessary complexity. I will practice retrieving English under time pressure. Now we are ready for the final challenge. You will complete 4 rounds. Each round tests a different part of direct English thinking. Round 1. Immediate reactions. Respond with one short phrase. You hear good news. 1, 2, 3. That's great to hear. You need more time. 1, 2, 3. Let me think about it. You disagree politely. 1, 2, 3. I'm not sure I see it that way. You accept a suggestion. 1, 2, 3. That works for me. You need clarification. 1, 2, 3. Could you clarify what you mean? You made a mistake. 1, 2, 3. That was my fault. Round 2. Complete the thought. The main reason I'm learning English is speak now. One situation where I want to respond faster is speak now. The phrase from today that I can use immediately is speak now. What usually makes me hesitate is speak now. To practice thinking in English, I'm going to speak now. Round 3. Listen and respond. I'm sorry, but I don't think I'll be able to finish this today. Respond. 1, 2, 3. Possible response. Thanks for letting me know. When do you think you can finish it? I've looked at both options, and I'm still not convinced either one solves the real problem. Respond. 1, 2, 3. Possible response. That's a fair point. Maybe we need to reconsider the problem itself. I know the opportunity sounds exciting, but I'm worried I'd be taking on more than I can realistically handle. Respond. 1, 2, 3. Possible response. That makes sense. It's worth considering whether the timing is right. I used to avoid speaking because I was afraid of making mistakes, but lately I've been trying to focus more on communication. Respond. 1, 2, 3. Possible response. That sounds like real progress. Has it made speaking feel easier? Round 4. Speak for 1 minute. Your final question is this: what would change in your life if you could think and respond confidently in English? Begin with one direct sentence. Explain why it matters. Give a real example. Describe how you would feel. Finish with one action you will take. Speak now. Keep going. Do not translate. Use the English you have. Finish your thought. Well done. At the beginning of this lesson, I asked what you did this morning. Let's return to that question now. But this time, do not give me only one sentence. Tell me what happened in sequence, how you felt, and what you were thinking. What did you do this morning? Begin now. If your answer started more quickly than it did at the beginning, even by 1 second, that is progress. If you used a phrase without seeing its translation first, that is progress. If you made a mistake and continued speaking, that is progress. Your brain changes through successful repetition. Every time you connect a situation directly to an English phrase, the shorter pathway becomes easier to use. At first, it may feel deliberate. Then it becomes familiar. Eventually, it becomes automatic. Do not wait for the day when translation suddenly disappears. Notice the small moments when English arrives first. Maybe you look outside and think, it's going to rain. Maybe you receive a message and think, I'll reply later. Maybe someone asks a question and you answer before fear has time to interrupt. Those moments are the beginning of fluency. Your job is not to fight your first language. Your job is to make English more available. Build thought units. Practice fast retrieval. Listen for intention. Retell ideas. Use simple language when necessary. Repair mistakes without panic. And keep the conversation moving. Before you leave, say this final sentence with me. I do not need to translate every thought. I can understand, think, and respond directly in English. Again. I do not need to translate every thought. I can understand, think, and respond directly in English. One last time, with confidence. I do not need to translate every thought. I can understand, think, and respond directly in English. Thank you for training with me today. I'm Emma, and this is English ListenBerry. Continue with the next fluency workout on your screen, and keep building the habit of thinking and responding in English. I'll see you in the next lesson.